Hello, welcome to Roll Initiative. I'm your host and Dungeon Master, Edward Henderson. Joined here today by four of our players.
I'm JD.
I'm Mark.
Aaron.
And Asensio.
Today we're here to recap the first of two adventures our group has had prior to the campaign going into the streamed mode of the first episode and so on and so forth. The first adventure was a modified version of the Dungeons & Dragons starter set for 5th edition, published by Wizards of the Coast. So, if anyone thinks they've heard this story before, you're not wrong, but I added a few things. So, the story for our campaign actually began with, how many I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people. A Goliath cleric named Doc, a tiefling druid named Esmeralda, a furblog cleric named Umber, played by Amari, a dwarven fighter named Letta, played by JD.
Aye.
The biggest pain in any pool of HP I've mustered, a wood elf rogue named Zero, played by Aaron.
I'll steal your money and your girl.
Stay tuned for future videos and remember that. We'll get to Asensio in a bit, though.
I'm
He
special.
wasn't there at the beginning. Ava was a bard high elf, and we also had myself, a half elf sorcerer, Drexel. I was not originally supposed to be the DM. Things got crazy, and now we were stuck with the character. But yeah, you guys were hired by a dwarf named Tacklin Riviera, Letta's cousin, to do what again?
We were supposed to go deliver we're supposed to deliver a set of mining equipment to the gravel mines town.
All right, and how'd that go for you?
Well, Drexel and my cousin went on ahead, and we ended up getting ambushed by a bunch of goblins. Apparently, they had ambushed them beforehand, just moments before.
Well, actually, not so much Drexel, but yes, with your cousin and a human named Simon. What we got here?
Simon Weber?
Yeah, Weber.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron, Mark, you guys got ambushed. What happened there?
Well, you see, what happens when you ambush us is that it doesn't go as planned.
Don't I know it?
See, I guess they didn't know what he was getting into when they decided to ambush us because they got their asses handed to them. To be honest with you.
And then they ran off.
Of course. Would you just stay around to die?
I mean, after the Goliath, Doc grabbed one of them and proceeded to suplex it over and over again, I would run too.
Yeah. Like,
we're not making this up. This was a repeated thing. We get in, the group got into a cave. There are these wolves. He did it to the wolves. Later in the dungeon, he did the same thing to a wolf into a chute and just let it fall down to its death. Like, what did I say that was back then? Like 20, 30 people were working with back then? Anyone remember?
We were climbing up a chimney.
35?
I broke into the wall. He went up, grabbed that thing, shoved it down the chute, which was about 35 feet, onto rocky terrain.
Okay, so that's two people saying 35. Well, we're just going to say it was 35 feet. Yeah, dude, chuck a wolf 35 feet down. Like, I think this guy just hates animals.
yeah, Peter would have had a big problem with him.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, probably. He's really, off kilter for a cleric.
Yeah, but I mean, Karma tried getting back at him. The boss of that place, a bugbear, just swung a club straight into his nuts, and he was still fine.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, after he killed that,
You think he was on
Bugbear's
my class.
wolf, the bugbear hightailed it the hell out of there.
Well, he didn't get far, did he?
Nope.
Our man, JD here playing Letta, decapitates him and keeps the head.
Yeah, it's like some type of weird fetish of his.
It's not a fetish. I just have a problem against goblin kind.
Oh, please
Not a fetish.
explain this problem.
Okay, so the reason I'm currently venturing with this party of mine is because I got my ass handed to me a few years back by a traveling group of hobgoblins. I come from a clan of dwarves who have settled up near what's that goblin city?
We've got it here as
Sanctus Alavon City.
Everasca.
no,
No, wait.
that's
Oh, Sanctus. No. Pretty sorry.
when Amari says Sanctus Elrosca, just make the cut there and then cut after this. That's just going to be our jump right now. Yeah, actually, we never actually got into why everyone decided to take the job from Tacklin. Mari, why did Humber take the job? Yeah, I never actually asked you guys. You just took the job. Money.
Well, I needed it. I was only traveling around with Drexel for like.
But think it over. I'll ask again on our interview videos that'll be put on the air later. Yeah, you guys managed to save Simon at least.
Yeah. These wasn't too banged up. Old guys talking.
Couldn't do much for Tacklin. Apparently, he was taken to something called the Spider. And you managed to at least keep a corner of a map he had.
Oh yeah, that was important.
So, I mean, it
There we
could
go.
be worse. Y'all could have died. I've seen people die at that point of that module.
Funnily enough, I have died at that point in the module before. Sadly, I was playing a human fighter. He didn't last as long as the wolves.
Well, I was playing a human for one.
He was a pretty.
Sounds like fighting words. You gonna take that as answer?
He was pretty strong human, surprisingly.
Well,
It's just that he got jumped by the wolves and his teammate decided to not revive him.
Alright, well, we've killed enough time on the very beginning of the adventure. Let's just move along to when you guys got to Gravel Mine. And you guys had a bandit problem going on.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm just going to ignore that.
What is this?
Yeah, you guys had a bandit problem as well as tax issues. Please.
60% tax on anything that's imported into the city.
Yeah,
It was actually just a village, not a city.
Oh, same difference.
Yeah.
You don't think it was a city with that type of tax?
The mayor was an asshole.
Can't argue with that logic.
As for the bandit problem, it really wasn't gonna be one until Doc showed up,
Yeah.
and then he cold cocked one of them, and then a fight broke out.
Man, not even that. Before you guys even found out about that, he tore the door off of the front entrance of the town hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He made a grand entrance.
that's true.
I mean, this guy
I mean,
is
no
the
one-
second possibility if I wanted to play Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy in Dungeons & Dragons.
I mean, nobody cared about the mayor at that time.
I personally wanted to kill him.
Yeah, you and a couple other people, actually.
Yeah.
But no, the bandits were led by a mage named Alston Timbers, who has since been played by our friend Asensio.
Hi.
So as Alston, please tell us what were you doing to this town?
Let's see. That's a good question.
I mean, I get your forgetfulness. It's been about a year. Luckily, I brushed up before we started recording. Basically just extorting everyone through fear and, well, chipping away their resources in addition to the tax that the mayor put up.
Was it additional onto the tax?
No. The tax was recent, so the module said nothing about your character's knowledge on the fact, so it was just so happened that candles were getting burned from both ends. But after putting these guys through a fun house, your character fled. But hey, you guys befriended a little goblin.
Oh yeah,
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry, glad we're safe.
Also killed another bugbear. That's what he said too.
There's several. I love it. Oh man, we got the Final Fantasy 11 and 14 goblin.
That's cute.
That's awesome. The masks are. Have you ever seen one of them without the mask?
No, and I don't think I want to.
You really don't.
Ill.
That's some predators.
I guess it's the reason why they wear the mask.
Actually, you're not far off. But yeah, does anyone here remember what Jerry divulged onto you all?
Details what happened to my home, the mountain I hail from. Remember that roving band of hobgoblins I mentioned?
Of course.
Yeah, after they kicked the crap out of me, and I specifically had to leave due to having to my injuries, they sold my said mountain to a dragon for a large, warm egg.
Well,
large, warm rock.
Yeah, Jerry said it was a rock. You have since suspected it was an egg, but that has neither been confirmed or denied.
Yeah. Got mixed feelings about that.
Then with like the help of Jerry found out like exactly the name of the whole group and where they was to find their base.
Unfortunately, you tried that, but you were asking a goblin, so I mean...
Yeah, we just asked him to lead us there. It's like the last place he was.
Yeah, that guy doesn't know north from a yellow sock. However, after you guys took care of the bandit problem, later that night, Drexel was just inspecting the bandit's base and was just spooked by Alston and ended up blowing up a freaking shed full of experimental potions and got his spirit jettisoned from his body. Which led to several fun adventures as we added in some quests, starting with... the quests, by the way, were to recover some ingredients for a potion that could save him, bring his spirit back to his body. Starting with a giant frog tongue.
Yeah, let's see the frog people.
Yeah, but it was what you had to go through to get the tongue from them that was interesting.
Yeah.
I believe you remember that one best.
So now when we fought that sea hag,
Oh, yeah.
Yep. They told us about this problem they was having like harpies, something like that. And it was like, take out these harpies for us, so you give you this. I'm like, all right, sure, we go take care of these harpies. So we basically come across this cliff and this beach or whatever. We go up this little hill, find this shack. We meet this old lady. Kind of suspicious. Turns out she was a sea hag. And she had these harpies, that try to charm us and whatnot.
Yeah, one of them singing while just flapping, staying in the air like 20 feet off from a 50-foot high cliff.
I feel bad for Doc.
I mean, I don't.
I mean, all of you, with the exception of
Me.
Letta, who managed to make a save,
Oh,
started walking
I
off.
wasn't affected by it as well.
I was affected by it.
Oh, wait, yeah, you weren't.
It was only Doc.
Yeah. No,
That had-
Esmeralda was
that had a
affected.
And Droop was a
Jerry was affected.
Sorry. Yeah.
Drexel wasn't there. No, it was Ava who was affected.
I was good.
We managed to save Ava, and I had to hold back Jerry and Esmeralda from walking off the edge. I tried to get Doc, but being a Goliath.
Yeah, you only had.
Dude,
Well, that
he's a
had two
Goliath
arms.
and you're a dwarf.
I
So
kept
like,
smacking her in the face.
So yeah,
So that dude just walks on off a 50-foot
drop
cliff.
and survives.
Yeah, he just ends up walking
Twice.
right
To
back
do it
up
again.
the hill. Yes, he goes again and breaks his freaking shins.
Oh my god.
And just continues to crawl up the hill as these guys are fighting these two harpies and a sea hag.
I'm just glad we got the drop on him.
By the time he gets back up the hill, the charm is worn off because the harpy that was charming him had died,
Yeah.
and he was not happy.
Yeah, I don't think he could have taken the third one.
No, he would have died.
Nah,
Yeah, most definitely.
he did end up putting his broken chins to use by sitting on the sea hag after he incapacitated her.
Oh yeah, she was a slippery fish. She almost got away from you
Yeah.
guys like 3-4 times, something like that.
Pretty much.
I hate fighting a sea hag.
He got fed up with it and just sat on her.
So ugly. So ugly.
Yes, and unfortunately, all you could get out of her, besides a pearl and a gem to summon an earth elemental, was that the spider was a
A draw.
yeah. Let me just double check here. Yeah, just a drow wizard. That's all you can get from her. But I mean, hey, more than you had the day before.
Yeah.
And due to his injuries, Doc was not feeling merciful, so he snapped her neck. Like, rather immediately. I mean, she deserved it.
Yeah, she was pretty ugly too.
I mean, I already don't like sushi, but just thinking of how that must have looked always makes my stomach turn just a little.
She kept trying to kill me by looking at me. She was so ugly.
It almost worked too.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that meddling dwarf
God.
You're welcome.
and his badass looking Furbolg friend. Of course, after you guys finished with that, you started to quest for the other ingredient necessary for the potion, some powdered wyvern fangs. The powdering could take place later, but any old wyvern fangs would have done. Of course, with the previously mentioned leg injuries, Doc and Esmeralda were dropped off back at Gravel Mine to recuperate.
This is when we went to the Kobold village, right?
Yeah,
Just look nice and cute.
you guys and Ava.
Yeah, we ran into like some undead on the way there.
Rip Ava.
Yeah, you guys also took a job to speak with a spirit named Yolanda for information on a book. And luckily, you had some backup. A tiefling paladin, one of our friends playing a character named Valgrim, had joined you temporarily.
Yeah, yeah, it's awful.
He's a
very
cool
fun.
dude.
Yeah, he was. Sucks he couldn't stay around permanently, but at least he helped you guys survive the next few bits we're going to cover. Luckily, worst thing that happened that day was you got backsassed by a ghost who told you where and what she did with a book while she was still alive after you gave her a silver necklace.
Sassy.
Sassy.
Yeah. Of course, to get there, you had to go through the ruins of Jockcrest Village. And man, that place was up!
Yeah.
Looked like
was
a
in
dragon
ruins,
went through and
everything
took a
was
shit on
fire.
it.
No, it wasn't on fire. Like, the place had been destroyed
It looks like
centuries
this.
ago. But you used your as a dwarf, you're a stone,
Stone cutting.
yeah, the stone cutting check, and you end up finding out that these slash marks all over the stone remains of this town that were still smoking as if they were burning. Apparently, someone's been coming here and doing it at least once every couple of years.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
But yeah, the day after that, you guys came up to the Kobold village and bartered for the Wyvern Fangs. Good deal you got. They'll give you the Wyvern Fangs, even powder them for you. Just gotta clear out this dungeon that the half dragon that ran the place heard about, so the kobolds have a nice home.
Yeah. It wasn't too hard.
Wasn't too hard. Gentlemen, who wants to correct him real quick?
Wasn't too hard, huh? Wasn't too hard.
Are we talking about the dragon?
No, we're talking about the dungeon where you guys had to deal with a lot of undead, animated weapons, animated armor.
Minotaur skeletons.
That dungeon was fun.
See, not too
Wasn't that the dungeon we popped up in later? And we found that dead body? Oh, it was basically the dungeon with a bunch of undead and animated weapons. That dungeon sucked for me because I couldn't stealth. Like,
everything had like
true sight.
I posted
no,
high
not so
from.
much true sight. So actually, is it true? No, that's not true sight. That is just what is it when the enemies can just like sense everything around them? I know it's not true sight.
It's a different type of sense. Huh?
Blind sight.
Blind sight.
Blind sight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that did suck for you.
Yeah, I was like, so what do I do here?
So get this, like the room right before we were about to, I guess, finish off the dungeon, we run into a pair of Minotaur skeletons. The fight wasn't too hard. They did hit hard, but it's what came afterwards, where they mashed together to form one giant Minotaur skeleton with two flaming battle axes.
Which had their own terms.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you
regular
guys.
Jedi
I was on the other side of the wall while this was happening, right?
Yeah. The columns in that room formed to make a wall that was closing in on the party, and you were on the other side.
Sounds pretty much good. So, well, these guys die.
From the fight.
I know I can get out. That'll be good. My adventure shall continue for another day.
It was pretty much a time battle against the Minotaurs on the wall.
Pretty much.
Fun times.
Final Fantasy in a nutshell. And after the fight with the Minotaurs, we come up to the main boss's room.
Actually, before you mention how that fight went, we've actually skipped on some story-based history that was discovered in that dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
That dungeon was actually the last site, or rather, the site for the last battle in what was known as the, where do I got it here? Animation Wars between two wizards named Fizard and Nivol. The site where Fizard was defeated. The enemy that Led is about to mention is the remains of that necromancer Fizard.
Oh yeah, it was obsessive. That's just like. So yeah, we come into that room. The guy's floating off the ground and fucking speaking in tongues or whatever. You know how necromancers are.
He wasn't speaking in tongues, he was speaking in common. Y'all strolled in, he's just called you murderers without hesitation.
Pretty sure the dwarf was drunk.
Murder?
He didn't do anything wrong. Yet.
Well, I don't know how it's murder if you're killing something that's already dead.
These are real questions.
Still haven't figured out why he hated us. And it's not because we killed a bunch of fucking skeletons. I know that much.
Well, you kind of
Well,
like.
actually, it's never been confirmed whether or not they were married. But
We
kinda-
can assume that they were at least lovers, right?
well, if anything, at bare minimum,
Prime
from that
example.
moment, you can assume that is hilarious. That he at least obsessed over the woman. There was a mummy in that room as well. Turned out to be the body of Yolanda.
Pretty sure she was a thought.
Speaking of said
Yolanda
mummy,
was a thought.
near the end of the fight, she did a
It's safe to
cold cock.
assume she was a thought.
Oh, actually,
She was
before we
fucking,
continue on this,
fucking a
I'd
guy
like to
and
give a shout
fucking
out
his
to
best
Ava
friend. So
and her player Naomi, because that was her day.
She was a real
Yeah, she's the
MVP.
reason why we even got into that
Like,
dungeon in
she
the first place.
just destroyed so much of that dungeon. Did a nice job with some of the puzzles I threw in there. Like, that was her day.
Yeah, she did a damn good job. She's the reason why we got
Didn't
into
the wife or the mummy get melted?
Yeah.
they melted
And
his
she cold-cocked
his,
me,
his
yeah.
girl.
And she cold cocked me.
That was funny.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was going toe to toe with the mummy where she gave me a fucking sucker punch, knocked me straight out. I was out of fight permanently or prematurely, and then they splashed some holy juice on her and she melted.
You
No.
know?
It was actually a potion based with her own blood.
Oh,
Yeah, you should have been like, if she breathed, she a thought, and just tossed it on her.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
And just, like, started melting the flesh away.
Like,
Owie.
you can't say I'm wrong. Just fucking a guy and his best friend. So, that's the only reason he got into the whole
Well,
beef.
I never went into details like that, but if that's how you want to speculate, okay, cool, whatever.
Like Seriously.
But after
it on
going through
Reddit.
that fun house, let's just keep this video moving. You guys managed to report back to the kobolds, get your wyvern fangs, and getting ready to.
Don't forget about the
I'm
dial.
pretty sure we can find legal bullshit for the Shikang Jewel thing if you leave that up for more than 5 seconds.
You can edit it and post it.
I hope so.
That's
Anyway,
just a pink rock.
I guess
Yeah.
he's trying to remind you of the whole diamond. The diamond.
oh god dang, thank you. You're right. Okay, so the Necromancer. Its arcane focus was this diamond. Nice big one too, worth about 100. And he dropped it after he was defeated. Ava picks up this diamond. It sinks itself into her arm and eventually finds its way lodged into her physical heart. With the spirit of this necromancer Vizier still in that thing. And throughout the adventure, we're going to mention that he's had an influence on the campaign, for better or worse.
Basically,
Mostly
had to
worse.
randomly deal with a woman on her period from time to time.
Wow. Come on, man. We're trying to be general audience. Like, we probably just lost at least 1,200 viewers at whatever second mark in the video that is. Yeah, thank God we're not streaming.
SJWs.
They run the world.
Yeah, no joke. But yeah, after you guys got the wyvern fangs from the kobolds, Vulgrim left you.
Yeah, he
Just
and,
saw this heavily armored knight in the distance, shouted Zenerin, and just started chasing after him. Like, there's no way in hell he caught up. The guy was riding on a horse. But,
he disappeared into the countryside. I haven't heard from him since.
yeah.
Pretty sure he's dead.
Of course, you guys didn't make it back to the to Gravel Mine that day. You guys actually managed to find the territory of these orcs that had a bounty on them.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Fun conversation you had with them.
Oh yeah. Broke my finger.
He played those guys like a fiddle.
Oh yeah. I mean, it sucks about your finger, but you did great.
Yeah.
That was a great role play that day.
Well, they're orcs, you know. They're not
Basically,
that smart.
he snuck into that cave by himself, shanked a few of them like his name was Solid Fucking Snake, and then proceeded to magically talk his way out of getting killed, and only ending up with a broken finger.
Keep in mind, there's like half a dozen orcs in there and an ogre. Well, the ogre was chained up, but still.
Still ogre.
He leads them to the cave, to the mouth of the cave, where they're ambushed by the rest of us and are promptly and swiftly killed. The ogre was the only last problem, and even that fell.
Of course, story-wise, before this, we should mention that during the negotiations, Ogre made an interesting note that the spider has put bounties on all of you.
Oh, yeah.
Not only that, but actually pulls up a rather old wanted poster of this man, worth 120 platinum dead or alive.
Which is,
What the heck did you do?
This is recorded, right?
1,200 gold, by the way.
You heard it, Dead or Alive, 120?
Yeah, that was the old one.
I just want that to be heard.
Oh.
You heard it here, folks.
Oh, watch
ever
your
scratch
butt,
the
man.
cash,
But
just,
please explain how
I'm
you
pretty sure I'm not
racked
the
up-
one who needs to wash their butt, if you know what I mean.
We'll get to that next video. But yeah, please explain how you have 120 platinum bounty.
Well, back in my hometown, I kind of killed a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people.
Are we talking about tens? 20s?
How you want to go about this? Like officially known
1, 2,
people?
3, 4, 5,
Unconfirmed.
6, 7,
Unconfirmed
8.
kills? Or
Just give us
confirmed
how many digits.
lost track. No one really keeps track of this, you know.
Jesus.
Just know they're important people, like a bunch of
Yeah,
diplomats.
Zero used to be an assassin. Of course, he still got those skills, but yeah. But moving on.
It's all business.
You guys managed through Aaron's great role playing as Zero and a well staged ambush. You guys took care of the orc problem and managed to get the ingredients back to town in time to make a potion to save Drexel.
Oh, it's Orc Blade. The Orc Slain.
Oh yeah, Betta has a
yeah.
sword called Orc Slayer that he just was a huge boom that day.
Oh yeah, the blade glows green, bright green, whenever there's an orc around. And it just cleaves through them like butter. It's
The skin comes right off.
If there's orcs around, just imagine Letta as like wielding Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
pretty much. It cuts
You
through
haven't
them just as
realized
fast,
yet?
too.
The dwarfs, the races of the party.
Excuse you?
Oh, I mean, nothing. You know, we all know you love, goblins and orcs and all of them. You're a pretty diverse lover of all the races.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, back on track. Gave Drexel the potion. This thing hits him so hard. Dude's spirit is launched back into his body so hard. He actually, he's like resting, and then suddenly, from nowhere, his body actually crashes through his own bed.
Oh yeah, he got put on the floor. That was funny. He said he was roaming around the ethereal plane, talking to goddesses and whatnot. He even met that ghost that helped us into that dungeon.
Yeah, he actually mentioned that a lot of other spirits were kind of scared of her.
It's pretty wild.
Of course, that wasn't the most interesting bit of story information you guys got that day. Doc and Esmeralda managed to tell you that not only have they narrowed down the possibility of someone who could find the Grey Fang base, but some interesting rumors about local blacksmith in Gravel Mine.
Yeah. Apparently, he was doing some business with this hooded cloak figure.
Actually, it was confirmed to be a
drow.
hooded elf
Yeah.
that had showed up in the middle of the night. Just specifically sought out a tiefling blacksmith.
Right. Yeah, we had to pay him a visit. He wasn't very welcoming.
Apparently, it shut down all other business due to him having to take out a very large order, like vastly big order from this
Oh man,
elf.
this dude's gonna make off like a bandit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a chest full of fucking platinum.
Yeah, too bad you guys never found out what the order really was.
There's a bunch of
Didn't?
weapons.
I know it was weapons or something. It was Warple.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys did find out.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it was like a he wanted a crate of Warple weapons.
Oh, right. There was that was dropped at the end of this adventure. I totally forgot I had
Yeah,
dropped
it
that
was
line
pretty
to you guys.
crazy.
Okay, my bad.
Should we do a FYI for what Opal is?
Sure. Tell them what Vorpal is, folks.
Oh man, it's just fantastic.
Also, quick shout out to my friend Simon Conway. Thank you for recommending the substance in the campaign. A friend of mine, Simon Conway, is the one who recommended I make that in the campaign.
Oh, that's awesome. Basically, a Vorpal weapon is a special type of weapon. I guess you can count as magical.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's pretty cheap.
Basically, whenever you no matter what, if you were to land a critical hit with the Vorpal weapon, you either decapitate your opponent outright,
No, you do that if they have a head.
and if they don't, or if you can't for some reason cut their head off, you would they take what 38 DE8.
It's some ridiculous amount where they still should not be living.
You just get eviscerated.
Oh, what I do to have a wolf?
Especially since, and here's the messed up part. I need to go back and look at the wording, but because that's a crit, you might end up doubling the amount it says under those. I need to look at the wording, but that might be a possibility. I'll confirm or deny after we record this.
Either way, it's a mess.
I need me a wolf weapon. Give me a wolf weapon, please.
Well, we almost got one that one
I think
time.
that's like a legendary. I think that's
Don't
like a
talk
legendary
about that
status
time.
weapon.
Oh, we have to. It's
Ah.
actually pertinent. We have to.
Yeah, no, that got me so irritated. The things I could have done.
But hey, you guys also met the blacksmith's wife.
Oh, yeah, we
His
helped
wife
her
was
out.
pretty hot. Shit, need a rid
I
of
mean,
that.
she's a tiefling. They kind of all are.
Yeah, Carpenter's aide who was being screwed over by her boss.
Thanks to Ava pointing that out, I managed to beat her in our own crooked card game by rolling a crit. It was fun seeing the look of the.
Well, no, there was a quit, just not from your end of the table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Managed to make this lady put down her post as main carpenter of the town.
Her entire business on the line.
Yeah.
And won it from her in one hand.
My sleight of hand is pretty good.
And then made her sign her life away on a contract drafted up by Drexel, just to add that extra bit of. She deserved it.
That's
Honestly.
a good way to put it.
You thought you were making a deal with the devil.
And his name
You
is
would
Drexel.
think.
It was a perfect day. Actually, I believe it actually helped us out. It made the blacksmith open up to us.
Yeah, that's the only reason you were able to start getting information out of the guy.
He was scared for
Oh,
his
no, good
family.
day.
Because up until that
Good
point,
job.
there was actually some,
Bad blood.
well, no, it's just, let's just call it marital tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was about to get a divorce.
Yeah, that's pretty likely. You guys also met some interesting NPCs that day. A traveling duelist named Kajad, who you actually tried fighting.
Yeah, apparently there was this dude, Kajad, going around challenging people wherever he went.
It's a human.
I planned on dueling him, but a dwarf had taken the spot first. His name was, what was it, Chuck Dwarvish?
Yep.
Chuck Dwarvish.
Yeah, dude's
Freaking. Oh, hold up.
My man.
Because
Chuck
upon
Dwarvish.
mentioning Chuck Dwarvish, this man immediately, and I will never forget this for so long with him. I've heard rumors of Chuck Dwarvish.
Oh, yeah.
So, what kind of rumors were they, sir?
This dude like sneezed and destroyed an entire mountain.
Holy shit.
I like the one Elmer came up with after we mentioned it post his leaving, where he won a staring contest.
That's
against-
Vasculus.
No, it was either a beholder or a Medusa. Either way, it's like what the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember-
Against Gorgon.
I remember Vasculus.
Oh, actually, in D&D, Gorgon for some reason is like a mechanical bull. I don't understand what the heck. No, what we normally
the same
refer
thing
to
with
as a
kobolds,
Gorgon,
like they're giant
they
people.
just straight up call Medusa.
Dog
in D&D.
people.
Oh, okay. Either way, dude's a badass, certified, star rating right there.
Oh,
He
speaking
ended-
of stars.
He ended up paying my fee in order to fight this Kajad fellow. And surprisingly, I got my ass handed to me after like 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, because he
I
had a
lasted
really interesting
longer.
attack you were not ready for.
Yeah, but I lasted longer than anyone else that challenged him, surprisingly. So yeah, that was
Dude hit you
Probably.
with, what was it, 10 strikes at once?
I guess. Also was a blinding flash, and then I was
Crippled.
kinda. I still got up. Kind of butted me in the face afterwards. Yeah, not my highest point.
But yeah, Drexel's still recovering. Stayed in Gravel Mine after that episode. And you guys, along with Ava, Doc, and Esmeralda, or actually, no, Doc and Esmeralda stayed in town, but you guys, along with Ava, went off in search of a druid that could lead you to the Grey Fang base,
Oh yeah, this was fun.
which took you to an abandoned town to search for the druid named Raymond. And you finally ran into this guy again.
Oh man, was that fun? We had to chase him around this entire fucking forested place, dealing with tree blights.
It was some kind of blights, yeah. I don't remember if it was twig or what.
Man, we literally like chased him all over this place until he got cornered by a bunch of them and needed help.
And that's where he developed his horrible fear of twiglets.
We ended up beating the crap out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we ended up kicking the tree blight's ass, twig blight's asses, and then his before he gave up. And then we took back the ring, right? Or we ended up
Yeah,
finding
you
Raymond.
end up finding Raymond and left him in his care because Raymond made you guys a deal. It's like, okay, you want to find where the place where the Great Fangs are hiding. Fine, dandy. I want to get rid of this green dragon hiding in this tower named Venerus.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you guys do that for me. I'll help you out. In the meantime, I keep an eye on this guy.
So, funny story about green dragons.
Oh, is it a funny story? How funny did you guys think the story was?
So, Letta may or may not have tried to intimidate said dragon. Rolling a crit, by the way. It kind of just pissed him off.
This
In a
dwarf
fight.
made a lot of dumb decisions when it comes to this dragon.
To be fair, he's got an intelligence score of 8.
He's worldly smart, not smart.
Wouldn't that make you not want it to be?
Alright, I don't think he's any kind of smart.
I mean, he's.
You're not book smart, you're street smart, but I'm pretty sure street smart.
That's
was-
not-
I mean, when your street smart tells you that you can intimidate somebody.
Yeah. See, that's the difference. They're trying to intimidate somebody, not a fucking dragon.
I mean, it's a dragon that can talk, so.
It's a
The
dragon.
dragon talks.
How would
to
I
let you
know that? I'm a dwarf.
that it's gonna kill
I haven't met a dragon before.
So the first thing that goes through your mind is like, I'm gonna try to intimidate
you.
him.
Would
I mean, in a
steal
high fantasy world, one would assume that that's actually like common knowledge.
And here he says he's street smart.
Tisk. For shame.
I didn't see you doing anything.
You know why? It's a fucking dragon.
Oh, man. Thank you to our tech man, Leonard. That is perfect.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, pretty much what this dragon did next. Because you tried this intimidation thing, and he made it very clear. I should give some context. So they're in this tower, the top portions worn away with age. So there's this spiral staircase on the inside, leading to a point that will essentially allow the dragon to fly out. JD believed that that's what the dragon was going to do, just leave. Well,
You're skipping some.
Oh,
This is like halfway into the fight, where it's like nearly on its last legs.
Yeah,
I had all the reason to believe that it would fly.
we was
away.
beating the crap out of it.
It was getting its ass handed to it.
yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, you believed that it was going to do that. So he ends up telling you to move. He goes up the spiral staircase.
Wait. He, so I don't know what was going through his mind at this point. He decides this is a great idea. He's like, you know what? I'm
gonna give the dragon the high ground.
I'm gonna let this dragon walk. No, you can go ahead, go right past me, go up these stairs, get the high ground. You know, you're a dragon. I believe you. We just got done beating your ass. You're gonna just leave. You know, yeah. You're a good guy.
I mean, that
right?
was our job. We didn't
In
have
a
to kill him, we just
cone-shaped
needed to make
room.
you Leave.
No, it was just a cylinder.
I mean, but the room itself was like
A cylinder.
It's like, oh, okay.
There's a difference.
when you
He's talking about the breath attack.
you go up at the peak of the
Look, I'm going to pull up the page in the player's handbook after this that explains spell shape, just to show you that cone and cylinder are two very different things in D&D.
I mean, with the opening at the top.
It's still a cylinder.
No, like most of the
Oh, yeah.
ceiling was still there. Like there was just like a small part where the stairs were. There.
Oh, I thought it like peaked out.
No. Okay. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, 'cause
I
it was a
apologize.
tower.
It was, but still, like the top half.
It was like
went
broke
away.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can edit this out.
But
But,
yeah,
But yeah, so this dragon, Venerus, stops near the top of the stairs, turns its neck, faces down, and just unloads its breath attack. Because of the angle it's coming out, they're in this narrow tower. The whole breath attack hits the floor, curls along the walls, and just fills the entire space.
yeah.
Boiling hot acid.
Actually, it was just poison.
Poisonous.
It was acid. It was like poisonous acid.
That's
It
poison
had
gas.
acrid qualities to it.
Yeah. It's like fucking.
I made a few tweaks to that
Oh.
dragon in the module.
So the sad thing about that surprise attack for the dragon, it didn't affect my dwarf.
It
Yeah.
did, just not as bad.
Because you're
I
resistant to
was
poison.
still standing and at a decent amount of health, and I wasn't happy.
You weren't happy. That attack had Ava, Umber, and Zero dying.
Dead. No, they were dead. They,
The only
they
one-
didn't kill them outright, but it KO'd them enough to kill them.
So yeah.
No, it killed Ava.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
she died.
These guys were dying, and you unable to do any kind of heals. There was a problem. I mean, you managed to kill the dragon, but then the spirit. We're actually mentioning the spirit now. So the spirit in that diamond I mentioned, Fazir, raises the body of Ava, which then uses her to start raising this dragon right back up. This only got stopped because Quick Thinker over here, surprisingly all of a sudden, managed to hit Ava's head, which knocked out the spirit too. But time being a factor, people falling, you ran back to Raymond, got him to hell. He was able to bring back these guys to full just fine, but to save Ava, you guys had to cut a deal with Alston
Yeah.
for a scroll.
Basically, he reneged. He managed to.
Oh, actually, no, Alston, please. Or rather, Sensei, what was the deal Alston made?
Altered
I
beast.
honestly can't recall.
Oh, well, it's
Oh,
good.
I believe we had to put in a good word for him to get his sentencing and all
Oh,
that.
okay.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had to agree not to kill me in the tree.
Yeah,
Not,
not to
not
kill
to
me.
Yeah,
sentence
just-
me to
It's
death.
not
That's
the
right.
death sentence. As long
Yeah,
as
it's just
he
not the
didn't get
death sentence. I recall that.
Yeah, and also keep you safe from the spider who was,
Well, pretty much kill him.
Yeah, so secure passage and no death penalty in exchange for it.
Pretty much.
and thus Ava was brought back.
You know, she got a phone call in the afterlife.
Right.
So yeah, all that done. Raymond gave you guys the location of the this old castle that the Grave Fangs were using as a base of operations. So you headed back to Gravelmine to recoup. Come to find, town's in a buzz about electing someone to replace the mayor that was imposing that ridiculous tax.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. We ended up putting what is it?
Simon Weber.
Yeah, Simon and giving him our votes.
Chest.
Of course, he was more than willing to compensate you guys for the help. But, yeah, he was drawing up documents, actually had the power to help secure the deal you made with Alston. But as opposed to locking him up, had him travel with you guys for a bit since he knew stuff about the Grave Fangs, and you were able to travel to the castle they were hiding at. I believe the party going there was you guys, Drexel, Ava, Doc, and Esmeralda.
Did they have to get those enchanted shackles?
The shackles were later. Yeah. We'll get to that in a bit.
Can we pause real quick? I really, really gotta go. Like, really badly.
Okay, yeah, I guess we can. Leonard, can you make a cut? Okay, so you guys got the location of the castle that the Grey Fang tribe was hiding in from Raymond. Alston absorbed into the party after securing Simon Weber as the new mayor and getting him to clear that whenever he does get put on trial, there will be no death penalty.
Pretty much.
So the whole crew squads up. Letta, Umber, Zero, Alston, Drexel, Ava, Doc, and Esmeralda, and ventures into the forest searching for this castle.
Wasn't Jerry?
Surprisingly, wasn't too hard. Well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry was. You're right. I forgot about Jerry.
He was the one who led us to it.
Yeah.
I just keep I keep forgetting about Jerry. I cannot resist.
Jerry.
Jerry's a pure.
But
Jerry's a pure boy.
I believe one interesting thing happened before you guys got to said castle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I ran to this guy where apparently I caught a unicorn.
Got it tied up and everything.
Yep, poaching the unicorn. So we ran this guy like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm pretty sure. Did he try to sell it to us?
No.
At one
We
point?
I don't believe he was willing to sell it.
no, we threatened him,
Oh yeah.
and he was going to get rid of it by letting it go. I was basing on Esmeralda's side to let the creature go.
Let it go, but we're not sure you're not gonna catch it over again.
Of course, some of the party wasn't.
I was like, no, it's a unicorn. We could keep it ourselves, It's pretty cool. We have a unicorn in the party. We can ride the unicorn to the mountain. We can sell it. It's a unicorn, It's a unicorn.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah.
So, this is without even the
Actually,
decision.
weren't you on his side for keeping the unicorn though?
I don't think I was.
I think he was actually gone. He wasn't actually there for that particular part.
Yeah, I think that's when you went over to Chicago.
Oh right. My bad.
But yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
had
they
it-
brought your character along anyway because you were coming back for the next part where they'd actually be at the castle.
So we had a unicorn, tied up, with us. I'm like, nice, we got a unicorn. We about to do with this thing. We about to keep this thing in the party. Have this thing be like, mountain. Just imagine me strolling through this battle on a unicorn, hair flowing, looking all nice.
No.
And then the ball breaker.
But then Esmeralda had to come and rain on my parade, shatter my dreams.
I mean, what did you expect from a druid?
I expected at least to take a consensus of the freaking party.
A druid.
You know what? Lucky I didn't kill her.
I mean,
That's so
It
backwards.
sounds like a
I
person.
mean, yeah, it really
Her
does.
husband's character can be
Yeah.
wolves, but we can't keep a unicorn.
I know, right? It's perfectly fine
Wait,
for
what?
this guy to go around and mutilate
You could
these
just
wolves.
suplex wolves, but we can't
Suplex
keep a
them
unicorn.
on that. It's
I mean-
perfectly okay, doesn't bad idea. But as soon as we get a unicorn, no, we should free it, We shouldn't keep it. Oh, it's like, oh, I'm like, what? It's like, I'm gonna let it loose. I'm like, oh, what was going? Cuts the unicorn loose. I'm like, he didn't even answer the house in the party,
Gone.
and the unicorn's gone. I'm just like, why?
Why are you like this?
No. The question I was like, what do you gain from this?
Altruistic stuff.
Peace of mind for her. She's a druid. What do you expect?
We got peace of mind
But-
for her later, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
Wow, it's too soon. Too soon. Actually, no, it's like
And
a
ever
year
since
later.
that day, I was like,
Could have had a unicorn.
could have had a unicorn.
Could have had a V8.
Nice. About to die.
I mean, you could have ignored the party and just took it yourself. You didn't.
See, the thing was,
I mean, you could.
I couldn't do that because she cut it loose and it ran off.
You could have just jumped on it then.
I mean, you could have ignored her, what she was saying.
The hell did you spawn a cupcake from?
Don't worry about it.
Just keep going.
And basically, just hop on said unicorn and ride off to the forest like a majestic stallion you are. But you did. You let her do it. Get over it.
No one let her do it.
You gotta get over it.
She just did it.
Yeah,
cut it
she
loose.
just did
cut
it.
loose. They're like, what's going on? And it's gone.
All right, I think the viewers get the point. Let's move on to actually getting to the castle.
They get the point later.
You can
definitely.
sense his salinity levels.
If you
They're
haven't noticed,
extremely
zero-
Like, we can let
zero
you
holds
have
grudges.
a full rant video about this later.
Yeah. Could have had unicorn.
poor man.
I can't have nothing nice.
If you haven't noticed, Zero likes to hold grudges.
Does he ever? You don't get to talk.
I have a reason for my grudge.
That's the definition of. I'll get into you. later.
Anyway,
Look.
Remember, his intelligence is only at 8.
So yeah, you guys ended up making it to to this old castle that the Great Fangs were holed up in, which is saying something considering the place was literally falling apart on a couple sides.
Sturdy enough.
Barely. But yeah, you guys split to like 3 parties. I believe it was you with Doc.
Doc.
It was you,
It was Drexel and Letta with Jerry, right?
And Esmeralda.
Esmeralda.
And Esmeralda at the
And-
front
and
door.
it was
I know that. Oh, this is
Umber, Mia Zero, and Ava.
Yeah, you
On
guys.
on the opposite
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, you guys managed to find like a entrance that was hidden behind like a freaking tapestry. Like, who the hell thought putting a tapestry up on a big hole in a wall was gonna hide anything?
Goblins.
goblins.
prison
Yeah,
guards.
goblins. I know.
Fair.
Doc kept trying to smash down the
So
iron
did you.
door. Huh? No, I was inspiring him. I was egging him on.
No, we had two clerics freaking skull ramming a door.
I was inspiring him.
Yeah.
I was like, good job.
No, you were.
Yes, I was assisting,
Right there with
I
him.
was assisting and inspiring him, so giving him the advantage and giving him the
Give him that
before.
sense. Give him that sense
Yeah.
of love and
I don't know why
Exactly.
you asked me
And
to
that-
ask me
If
to
anything,
pick the
it was
lock.
him doing the work, and I was just kind of like,
patting him on the back.
yeah, exactly.
You're doing good,
Giving him a
champ.
shoulder massage while he's doing that.
Whereas these guys,
I'm pretty sure
this
it's got-
guy's getting shot down. Him and like the weakest members of this entourage.
Actually, they missed every shot. Those
Well,
goblins had.
not on Jerry. Him and Drexel took a few good hits.
Well, they suck.
Then you had these guys at another area, practically deserted, just sneaking around, just offing what few people stood in their way.
After,
Until you guys ended up meeting in this
Oh, the main corridor.
makeshift
Oh.
worship room.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, and then what is it? What came down? It was like a worm.
Oh yeah,
I think
Worm
it's called a
creature.
Grek.
Is it Grek? Yeah,
yeah,
we got stuck by a Grek.
Yeah,
yeah. You and Doc got caught up by the tentacle monster.
Yeah, it tried to finagle us.
Yeah,
but we
and
weren't having
but
none of
before
that
we
finagling.
get into that, let's just take a moment to honor Doc and his accomplished career.
Oh my god.
That's a suplex.
This man has been a wrestler,
I just
an
wanted.
animal tamer.
I just want it to be noted
A
that
drunkard.
we could have assisted each
A
other
drunk.
because the only thing separating us was what is it? It was like a
Oh
velvet,
no!
like a
He
velvet
wasn't a
grape.
drunk. He was a professional beer taster.
He became a drunk later.
We could have easily
A
helped each
priest.
other, but what do you call it? There was like a
Started
curtain
his
stopping
own
us.
tentacle porn.
We don't talk about that.
We were just now getting to it. Yes, we
my
do.
That's a sight to behold. A Goliath male being tentacle raped.
Yeah, those.
That's something you see every day.
Yeah, that was a weird day.
I'm
They
glad
went
that I had to
everywhere.
witness that. I'm glad to walk in and I was like, what's
He
going
tried to
on
suplex
here?
it. Didn't help.
He did suplex it.
Oh, he actually managed it.
That's how it got wrapped around him, and when we started making the tentacle porn jokes.
Yeah. He
knew what he was getting
suplexes everything.
And what was getting into him.
Well,
Giggity.
Can
Doc's
suplex-
Yep, Rick's gone wild. You're damn right.
I was going to say.
You're damn
I was going to say
right.
Doc's gone wild.
Man, that guy got wild every time he was part of the show. God dang it, Leonard.
What
Is that?
Oh, good.
Ah.
Good.
That's freaking up. That's actually
I
accurate.
would believe that
Yes.
coming from him.
That is Doc in a nutshell. Yes.
Man, he's freaking doing all this stuff, wearing a mask, like going lucha
He did
libre on.
get a mask.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right. I
he
forgot
did
about
have a
that.
mask.
Oh yeah. From
He had a mask.
The cultist
We're
mask.
not-
we already passed that.
we cut that out.
Oh, yeah.
He just had a mask.
Oh.
But no, you guys also in the same room because you were throwing ashes at the dang thing, trying to hit it from afar.
No, it was like flaming coals or something. I forgot.
Yeah,
It
but
has
when you
like a
when you
brazier in
did
the
one of
middle.
them, you end up finding this gold statuette.
Oh yeah, that was a nice statue. It talked to me. It said mean things.
You asked a question and got the truth. Deal
I
with
know. It said mean things though.
Oh yeah. It was a piece of great golden knowledge.
So yeah, fun little golden statuette of some kind of high elf.
Shit, so
Most people could ask this thing one question in their lifetime, and they would get a truthful response from it. Unless you were evil.
That's me.
Yeah, you couldn't use it.
Speaking of which, how much is that statue worth?
Well,
I don't think we still have it.
We still
Kinda
do.
ruined now.
We haven't gotten rid of it yet.
we'll look at that later. So that episode aside, you guys managed to find your cousin. Dang, we say his name so rarely. It's
Tacklin. Takalin?
Tacklin, yeah, Tacklin.
Tackling.
You guys managed to rescue him, and were on your way out of the castle until a small group of hobgoblins
Oh yeah, they weren't happy.
or were returning to the castle as you were leaving.
Led by Targor.
Yeah, arrogant son of a gun.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
I mean, first he's got like this sash of like
Skulls.
he had one stash of skulls of like, or not even skulls. It was just heads of elves he had just killed, and another stash with gems that summon earth elementals. He managed to throw one of them
He threw them like shurikens.
into the castle.
He threw two.
Yeah, two.
Yeah.
I thought you guys.
Oh no, he took two off his belt.
No,
threw them
no,
into
no,
the castle.
no.
Work with me.
You guys had one too, remember?
Yeah, we had the wind elemental.
Oh, I said earth earlier.
Yeah, we had.
Yeah, we have
wind
one now.
Oh, right. Well, either way, these elementals are in the castle and they just destroy the place, fighting each other. Yeah, you guys barely got out of there alive as it was coming down around you.
It's like some Indiana Jones type stuff going on.
Yeah.
Except it's all supernatural.
I like.
Almost lost your cousin in the process, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd say more like poltergeist.
Kinda. You almost lost Jerry. Oh man, that was
Yeah, good mix in between Poltergeist and Indiana Jones. I'll give you guys that.
it was a rough fight.
But this guy knocking the daylights out of you because he was actually there when you got your ass whooped by his boss Gamira. Well, former boss.
Yeah. He ain't laughing no more.
Yeah, you killed him quick.
Oh yeah, I still have his head. Or at least I did. I should really start hanging these up on my wall. Not a bad guy, everyone. Not a bad guy. Just hate hobgoblins. And anyone that's close to the
And goblins.
Goblin
But yeah, that day was crazy. But I mean, hey, you guys managed to get back to Gravel Mine safe and sound with Tacklin. He had the rest of his map on hand. Turns out the spider wanted to use the map, which led to this old mine that was rumored to have some enchanting forge. And I'm probably eating up too much of the video with my own talk. Who here remembers how the map works?
If I remember correctly, we had a piece of it from when we saved Simon earlier.
Correct.
And with that piece, along with the map that we got from my cousin, putting it together, it actually shows the location of the forge inside said mine.
Correct. The map would change from showing the path leading to the mine to an actual map of the interior and revealing where in said mine the entrance to the room with this forge is.
Yeah. Which was a strange ordeal going there. Found the body of one of my cousins.
Oh, well, we're still getting to that point.
Yeah, that was
Because
nice.
Tacklin also mentioned how when he was captured, he jammed a key made of a magic substance that would open the door into the eye of a bugbear when it was captured. Turned out to be in the skull of the bugbear's head you were carrying this whole time, in case anyone forgot that this sicko has been going this whole adventure with the head of a bugbear in his bag.
That wasn't the whole adventure. Speaking of that head,
Looks like it to me.
it wasn't. I got rid of the other one. I fed it to that creature.
Yeah, but this one specifically was from the beginning.
You're just walking
Yes,
around
it
with
was.
hobgoblins.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he stole his eye patch, right?
No, it was the one before that,
No.
which was the one at the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's right. He had an eye patch.
The one with the eye patch is the one he's thinking of having got rid of.
Yeah, he didn't even need an eye patch.
Yeah, because it had jewels in it.
He was wearing a fancy.
Oh yeah, his fancy.
His fancy.
He wanted his fancy.
That was funny. But anyway, yeah, you managed to get a duplicate of the original key made, and this little chunk left just crushed down
It's
to powder,
over a,
coat the new key.
yeah.
That's good to go.
We were all set to storm the mine.
Yeah, Well, except for Doc and Esmeralda, they stayed back,
yeah.
keep the town safe for a bit. They would join you later for reinforcements. But hey, Simon gave you guys some awesome shackles to deal with the spider once you found them.
Didn't we pop up in the mine later?
The sneaky shot.
Numbers. We came into the mine later after you guys.
Yeah, you guys had to deal with some too, but you weren't that far behind.
Yeah,
So you guys were basically part of the main group.
Oh man, it was so funny when
It's like,
we came.
What's 2 hours?
Yeah, but we came across this body of this dwarf, you know. We kind of fancied the shoes in on his feet.
They desecrated the body of my cousin.
Yep.
Had to get
It's
measles
like,
off
oh man,
He got them.
this guy went out like a dude had like singe marks on his shoes too. Like went out like a G. Oh, grab his Tim's.
And not only that, didn't we toss his body all over to the
Yeah, they
floor?
picked up. All right, so to get into the mine, we had to jump over this pit, basically. Yeah, when they showed up, they just picked up the body and just tossed him into the pit.
All right, you guys were just coming back to the pit at that time.
Yeah, so
you just walk over there.
smash my cousin's body right in front of me. It was yeah.
It was an experience.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys dealt with all
grave
kinds of
robbers
BS with goblins, bugbears, undead, until you eventually. I mean, you also did find the enchanting forge.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, and the spider probably had no way of knowing this, its power was almost gone from centuries of not being tended to. You made something with it.
I managed to tap into the power of the forge in order to create a potion of reversion, actually.
Well, yeah, all right, the potion of reversion. Not really so much a potion. You only got like what, 4 drops?
4 was plenty for what they did. Basically, the drops themselves were as potion as
Best
itself.
medicine ever.
Man, this stuff worked miracles. Take your say you're grievously wounded, and you're on the edge of death. Take a drop of this
Well,
potion.
let's say you were grievously wounded within the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, and if you weren't they'd just take you where you were 5 minutes ago. So say you've been fighting for like 10 minutes, and you've just now like been grievously wounded. Take a drop of the potion. You end up 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, whatever state your body was in.
Better off than where you were, bleeding out on the floor like a cow. Well, yeah, potions are like that. Potion was the best thing ever. Sadly, I can't make it anymore. It's kind of busted. Not to mention there are a bunch of other cool, unique items in there.
Yeah, but we are running out of time in this video, and none of that stuff's really like pertinent to the overall story. So we'll just jump to the part where you guys eventually found the spider.
Yes,
And
spider.
man, this dark elf,
Drunk.
it was a dark elf wizard, drow wizard named Zerato Jardot. I had some fun interactions that day. I mean, first off, you gone turncoat on me. Deal with you in a minute. Offered you guys and him basically everything their characters were looking for at the time.
Yeah.
Only to be answered with the sexiest no I've ever seen in my life. Do you want to go over the detail or should I? Because the way you described this, like, I'm going to forever remember it.
Don't worry.
Then by all means, see if you can do it justice.
Okay, so, if you guys remember, what was that hobgoblin's name? Targor. Had a few more gems to summon an earth elemental. Well, they kept they kept 2 of them. The third one broke when the guy died and fell on top of it. So this man walks up, curses out the drow on account of killing one of his cousins and severely threatening another, pulls out one of these gems and shatters it on. Ah, damn, that hurt.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah, no shit. Damn, karma.
It pretty much happened like that.
Oh, yeah, basically. Leonard, real quick, can you still hear me? Okay, good. Okay, I just want to make sure we're not breaking this. Yeah, the gem smashes on the floor. Greta, confident as shit that this guy is going to see the end of his days as hundreds of shards of this jewel just scatter, cascading across the floor, and nothing else happens. Yeah, it turned out the rest of this guy's elemental summoning gems were fakes.
Letta was rather disappointed that day.
How bad?
Except that disappointment soon turned into anger as he tried his damnedest to take out this drow. And he knew it, so him and his posse just decided to, like, hold him in place.
Yeah, well, this guy had his own posse, a bunch of spiders, a few bugs.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
And other things, like, they didn't last long, though. You guys managed to drop these minions, and then this guy. I'm sure you guys remember the DPS thing I mentioned earlier?
He thought he could get away. He tried to hightail it.
Oh, no, first, you, like, two-shot.
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
guy.
right.
Like, you guys had just hit, like, level 4 or 5 at the time, I forget which.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4. And I put you guys up against a level 10 evocation wizard.
And he got bodied.
Yeah, he was like 15
last
or
match.
15 or 14 health left after just 2 hits from this guy.
Wait, isn't that when we tried to sneak his Vorpal Blade away from him?
Oh yeah, one of the minions had the Vorpal Blade. And
Actually,
it just ended up crushing it in his hand into dust and blowing
blinding
it out your eye.
He ended up blinding.
Yeah, Vorpal shouldn't do that.
All right, so
Probably wasn't
it went like
Vorpal,
this.
but-
After Letta tried to, and failed with his summoning ritual, the drow ended up summoning his minions. Giant spiders came down, webbed Letta in place so he couldn't move. And then his minion with the little Vorpal dagger snapped it in half, crushing it, and then just threw the dust in his face, blinding him for another few turns. And then
There was only like one.
I mean, they kept trying to keep him in place.
Not to mention with him with his chain lightning and
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't channeling. He just did a he
Lightning
did really
bolt.
good with lightning bolt. Freaking
magic missile.
no. Well, he did have that too.
Cloud
But,
Death?
Cloud kill.
yeah, cloud kill.
Yeah, funny thing about
He did that one. He did lightning bolt, magic missile, and cloud kill. And
funny thing
that
about
was
poison.
great.
It doesn't work on dwarves that well.
No, you want to talk about funny things? The entire, like the rest of this campaign going forward from what we're talking about right now could have gone in a totally different direction. I was ready right then and there to change the entire direction of our campaign based on these guys' decision for the offer that Zerato proposed.
Shit took his offer though.
Man, screw Zerato.
That's funny. But please continue.
I mean, as I said, poison can't really harm dwarves. You got iron lungs. We're kind of, used to the gold dust.
All right, so I think we're good for those parts of the battle. So, yeah, like we got to.
Wait till I
This
get my
man
hand-
bolt!
Yeah. It's like, wait till I get my hands on you.
Bolt out of there.
Ain't no one
After
said
his
did.
After
He
his,
figured it wasn't
backup
such a
of
good idea to stick around.
Bugbears?
Yeah, like some bugbears showed up and a doppelganger and just kept trying, like held you guys off. He went around one way. Zero cut him off. You were there too. Who threw the javelin?
I did. All right, so he tried his damnedest to get away from Zero, who was pelting him
Yeah,
with
because
arrows.
then he said block off the area, so I had to take the long way around. So I was like, you know what? I'm a rogue. I'm a bonus action dash. Hawk him down with like 70 movement speed. And let's say, whoa, like yeah, you just did all this misty step and you block off and you thought you could get away. And now you run up these stairs and like how you catch up to me so fast. I'm like, come on, man. I told you, you're not getting out.
Letta ended up running around back the way they came in from the main room. Ended up catching Nesnar as he was about to run down the stairs. Sorry,
Changed the
Zerato.
Zerato. You have a sheet there.
I keep forgetting his name.
That's what
Ended up catching him as he was trying to run down the stairs. He rolled a crit fail.
on trying to dodge this dang javelin and fell down the stick.
Yeah, just before that, you had to use this like my last spell in my book to get away. I'm like, really? Oh, I forgot what he did. He misty step on something.
He misty stepped across the river.
No, there's something he did because I caught him on the stairs, and he did something like to basically nullify my attack. It'll make it miss. And I was like, really? I finally get you? You pull something out your ass? And that's what led to follow up with the javelin. I said, well, you didn't expect everyone else to catch up with you too?
Nope, he sure didn't.
I'm like,
Yep,
come on,
that's
man.
why we caught his bitch ass.
So yeah, he fell down the stairs, was unconscious. Esmeralda and Doc just showed up right then. You guys managed to cuff him. Letta took this pendant, which he was using arcane focus.
Oh yeah, and a staff.
Yeah, you guys found out that after using the statuette, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like the pendant had some weird markings on it.
Never found out what they were.
Well, I mean, we'll explain why that's kind of irrelevant when we start the next video. But
Oh yeah, and I also took a staff. You know,
Spider
can't be too
staff.
careful.
yeah, all in all, it was a good ass whooping.
Yeah.
It was a good ass whooping.
Don't try to run from a wood elf. So,
What up, rogue at that?
yeah.
So yeah, got him, lock, shock, and barrel. Took him to a cell and gravel mine.
Mm-hmm.
Called it a night. Your boys, Umber and Zero, on watch duty. So, who wants to spill the beans for how guard duty went?
Won pretty well, actually.
I bet you would say that.
Quite the pay.
Amari, care to elaborate? You've been pretty silent all
Quite
day.
the payoff at guard duty.
I wonder why.
It's the lycanthropes.
No, that's next video.
Okay.
Stay tuned, everyone.
All right, so can you explain why you fucked up? How you fucked up?
Oh, I should also mention that Alston was put in a cell as well, because these guys were going to get ready to be transported to a city
For trial.
called Throgben for their trial.
Pretty sure I didn't fuck up.
You guys are going to play silent on me today.
Well then,
Okay, here we go.
after waking up the next day from
Right. No, I'm just going to straight up tell because it was revealed later, so there's no reason to keep it silent from the fans
fair enough.
at all. This jeweler in the city, Heather, who happened to have connections with the Thieves Guild that Zero was associated with, offered these guys a bribe. Because keep in mind, they were also charged to transport these prisoners to Throgben for said trial. They were going to get vouchers for horses in exchange for it. So these guys got paid a small fortune and a slightly forged voucher for a better deal than what they were originally going to get.
That voucher was pretty good. We got 4 horses
And a carriage.
and the carriage.
Yep, when you guys got to Throgben, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Pretty good.
The next day, you were saying.
We wake up prepared to.
I should also. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off again. Oh, and as Zerato leaves with this Heather person, erases Alston's memory of the event.
I don't know. What happened?
Apparently, no one knows what happened. Somehow, he just walked the fuck out.
Yeah.
2 of our best just failed at guard duty that night. Apparently.
It was this big flash. And
Yeah, I remember you and Naomi playing Ava was like on full freakout status as to where the hell this guy went.
Yep.
I wasn't too worried about it.
Yep.
I bet.
Caught him once, I could catch him again. More money for me.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We'll see how long you stick to that when we get to the next video.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys were searching for like what, half the day in that village?
Yep. And
town.
saw nothing. That sucked.
Yeah.
All that work and nothing to show for it.
Didn't suck half as bad as later that afternoon.
Oh yeah. When the screams came.
Yeah. So, this is where we start heavily deviating off from the starter set. But this child, which looked almost looked dead, just wrapped in blue and white sashes, attacked the party.
Could have had a unicorn.
Yeah, that was no kid.
Nah,
Some kind
I
of
was
machine.
speaking in like freaking
Static.
old school AOL
Dial-up
beeps and
static.
shit.
It opened its mouth and screamed static at people. Dial-up noises.
Freaking blast energy bolts from its hand. Managed to kill Doc, Esmeralda, and the old mayor.
That's what happens
I
when you
bet
let
no
go of
one cried about
unicorns.
that one.
Yeah, it killed Doc and Esmeralda, like, outright. No, there's nothing we could do. Gave them holes in their chests.
If we had a unicorn, maybe.
What the hell would a unicorn do?
Wish.
Well, you know.
It's kind of true.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish?
Or some kind of healing thing. I know that unicorn could have helped
Yeah.
in combat as far as support goes. But yeah, after that mild tragedy, the remainder of the group did manage to beat this child-looking thing up all the way up until this point. It didn't look like any of the attacks were doing anything. Afterwards, however,
I would
every hit they tried, there was clear, visible signs of the impacts.
Yeah, it was just a male kid's body after we were done with it.
Yeah, like 1 second is fine. That last hit, freaking ragdoll physics for a second there.
It was
I was
very
not getting
unsettling.
close to that thing. Somebody did it.
Actually, throughout the entire fight, Umber was like frozen in place during the entire thing.
Well, I mean, not too surprising. The white and blue specifically are the colors of his main deity.
That's an Aura, the frost goddess.
Should mention we borrow from the Faerun pantheons, just something everyone who plays D&D should be able to relate to.
Well,
Yeah, I wasn't poking around against my goddess's deities.
fair enough.
I mean,
I feel the
can't
same.
blame you.
I guess I'd feel the same if I was dealing with anything from the Hobbit's brood.
But yeah, that was fun. Funeral was nice. Couldn't stick around to mourn too long though. You guys had to still get Alston to Throgman for his trial.
Yeah.
We'll skip over the messy details and we'll just jump to the verdict. Hey Len, can I get you in here? Please. Oh, is he blowing me off? Oh man, that's no fun.
Oh well.
So I had our tech guy.
por favor.
Wait, what?
You said 1 minute.
Oh, never mind. He's coming. Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, this
Is that getting
is
annoying?
great.
Is that getting annoying? Okay. That's my bad.
Hey, bro. All right. So your sentence. Okay, so I had this man, our tech guy and co-owner of the Game Lounge, Leonard, play as the judge for this trial. I didn't even know how this was going to end. If I remember correctly, your sentence was threefold. First off, this man's been banished from his home for a year, forced to travel with the party, and what was the last part of that sentence, my friend?
He was to wear this dirty ass pudding dress.
No. He had to wear a dress and he had to sit in the pudding chair.
Oh, so yeah, he had to wear this dress and sit in this pudding chair for 2 days or 48 hours. In the pudding chair.
Chocolate pudding chair.
Those stains will never come out.
Kind of weird that it developed. God, just saying.
And what did you say was the worst thing about sitting in that chair?
The stains will never come out.
Thank you, man.
Just so you know,
There was no way I wanted to do that part of the video without you.
just so you know, it was a very, very nice elven dress that I got from Yolanda herself. Got the rummaging in her drawers. Don't worry about that. But, you know, never come out. And he had to wear it for 2 whole days. The smell, man.
Because we had took his robes and stuff.
Yeah, you guys are kind of messed up.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
the,
are messed
That's the
up.
only reason he ended up in the dress because we took his robes and stuff while he was in jail.
Yeah, I know. You guys are weird. Really, really weird.
People need to clothes with better equipment, you know.
But I mean, hey, you got a new cleric with you, and I mean, you got 2 clerics now. He's got to leave, so on your way out. But before you left, approached by an old friend. No one remember?
Dwarvish?
Yes.
Ah, right. What did he? Oh, yeah, he wanted us to go to, what was that place called? Missport?
Yes. He had asked the party, pleaded with them actually, to travel to a city to the south known as Missport. He wanted them to help his friend, the Marquis Lurin Mazuth, dealing with the approach of, well, impending approach of the Deep Claw Legion, which Letta knows very well.
Yeah.
Since that's the name of the army that wrecked his mountain, led by a hobgoblin named Gamira, but getting derailed for a moment. You guys
Just so you know, I hate goblinoids.
he says it's not
accepted
racist.
this request and are starting to head south. You see Dwarvish again after he finished training some recruits over in Frogman. They'd show up as reinforcements, but dude needs a couple hands right now. Fine, dandy. Until you guys tried taking the most direct route through a mountain pass, and sure enough, the group's path was blocked off by a landslide caused by none other than a small detachment of the Legion's members.
Yeah.
We are literally on the last half of the last bullet.
Yeah, it's fine. Just put-
Yeah, just tell me when to continue. They need closure. Okay, so you guys find out that this massive, horribly inconvenient landslide that's blocked off a main trade route which you were planning to use to get to Missport was caused by a nearby Legion platoon. Big, muscular orcs, couple hobgoblins in odd golden armor with very decorative, like swirling designs etched into it.
We made short work of them. Their
Well,
armor was-
not really. They put up a good fight. As your attacks went in, there was like some kind of pushback, magical force from the armor.
I had that problem.
Their weapons, those of the party who got hit, felt oddly heavier than you would have expected to be hit by a weapon of the given types. It was strange. I mean, yes, you guys managed to make the short work of them. You managed to chip off a piece of their armor before killing one of them. But as the bodies fell, the weapons and armor that they were wearing would disintegrate.
Actually, if I remember correctly, we ended up doing an Arcana check on that, didn't we? Or was it after we got to our destination?
You did, but it seemed to have lost all magical property at that point. Which is probably why it didn't disintegrate with the stuff that was still on whoever it came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have the party with no choice but to head east, going around the mountain to detour on their path to Missport. Several questions arise. What questions did you guys have at this point? Do you remember when we were ending that session?
Didn't we emphasize your question? Zero's whereabouts?
Yeah, you did ask the statue where you would see Zerato again next, and it told you Fabery Forest.
Oh yeah.
No, Fabery Forest, which begs some questions for us to leave you guys out on today. Where the heck is Fabery Forest? What the heck was going on with that armor? When am I getting paid for this? We'll catch you all next time with Roll Initiative. This is Edward, signing out with my cohorts.
I'm Letta.
JD.
I'm JD. I'm Letta. You know, I'm the dwarf. Give me a drink. Give me a hug.
Maybe in an hour.
Umber, played by Amar.
Number 1 DPS 0, played by him.
I'm getting the stank eye from the Zero character for some reason.
Austin Timbers, played by yours truly, Asensio.
And we'll catch you guys next time when we regale our tales for our second adventure leading up to the first episode of our campaign, which will air on January 14th, 2018, 1 p.m. Eastern. Later.